December 7th, 1941. A calm Sunday morning in Hawaii. Sailors were waking up, some getting ready for church, others just enjoying their day off. Then out of nowhere, the sky roared. Explosions, screaming, fire raining from above. In less than 2 hours, over 2,400 Americans were dead. Battleships were burning, and the United States was thrust into World War II. But here's what most people don't know. This wasn't a random surprise attack. It was the result of years of tension, secret moves, and a gamble Japan thought would win them the war. So how did it all come to this? And why did Japan even dare to attack the most powerful country on Earth? Let's go back to where it all began. Welcome to Timeless Feed, where history comes alive, one epic story at a time. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and game-changing events in modern history, the attack on Pearl Harbor. We'll uncover the real reasons Japan attacked, how the U.S. missed the warning signs, and what happened in those terrifying minutes that changed the world forever. The problem: why Japan wanted war. To understand Pearl Harbor, you need to understand Japan's mindset in the 1930s. Back then, Japan was rising fast. It was a modern empire, hungry for more land, more power, and more respect. But Japan had a big problem. It lacked natural resources. No oil, no rubber, no iron. And that meant Japan had to import those things, especially oil, from the United States and British colonies. So what did Japan do? It started invading its neighbors. In 1931, Japan took over Manchuria in northern China. Then in 1937, they launched a full-scale war in China, killing, destroying, and shocking the world. The U.S. was watching, and they didn't like what they saw. By 1940, President Franklin D. Roosevelt froze Japanese assets and cut off exports, including the thing Japan needed most: oil. Without oil, Japan's military couldn't run. No ships, no planes, no tanks. So Japan had two choices. One, back down and give up their empire. Two, or strike first and grab the oil they needed. Fast. They chose war, but not just any war. They planned a massive surprise attack that would knock out the U.S. Pacific Fleet before America could fight back. And they had one target in mind: Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was a U.S. naval base on the island of Oahu, Hawaii. It was home to most of the U.S. Navy's battleships, aircraft, and about 40,000 military personnel. To Japan, it looked like the perfect knockout punch. If they could destroy the Pacific Fleet in one surprise attack, they could take over Southeast Asia and the Pacific, grabbing oil fields in Indonesia, rubber in Malaya, and islands across the Pacific, without American interference. The plan was bold, risky, almost insane. But Japan believed it could work if they struck hard and fast. The mastermind behind the attack was Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto. Ironically, he had studied in America and admired its power. He even warned Japan not to fight the U.S., saying, "In the first 6 months, I will run wild, but I have no confidence in the outcome after that." Still, he followed orders and crafted one of the most daring attacks in military history. Here's how it would work. A fleet of 6 aircraft carriers would sneak across the Pacific, undetected. Over 350 planes would take off in 2 waves. Their targets: battleships, airfields, fuel tanks, and anything that could fight back. And the best part, from Japan's point of view, no one expected it. Sunday, December 7th, 1941. 7:48 a.m. The first wave of Japanese planes appeared over Oahu. At first, some thought it was a drill. Then the bombs dropped. Explosions ripped through the harbor. Planes caught fire on the runways. Battleships were torn apart. The USS Arizona took a direct hit. Its ammunition exploded, killing over 100 men in seconds. It still lies at the bottom of the harbor today, a silent memorial. The USS Oklahoma rolled over. Others, like the California, Nevada, and West Virginia, were burning or sinking. In just 90 minutes, 8 battleships were damaged or destroyed. More than 300 planes were damaged or lost. 403 Americans were killed, and 178 were wounded. The Japanese lost just 29 planes. It was a military disaster for the U.S. But Japan made one critical mistake. The attack shocked America. But instead of breaking their spirit, it united the country overnight. The next day, President Roosevelt went before Congress and gave his famous speech, calling December 7th, a date which will live in infamy. Congress declared war on Japan, almost unanimously, and Japan's Axis allies, Germany and Italy, declared war on the U.S. a few days later. Now the United States was fully in World War II, on two fronts, Europe and the Pacific. Japan thought Pearl Harbor would keep the U.S. down long enough for them to dominate Asia. Instead, it awoke a sleeping giant. Factories roared to life, millions enlisted, and the Pacific War would rage on for nearly 4 more years, ending only after Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed in 1945. Pearl Harbor wasn't just an attack. It was a turning point in world history. It showed the power of surprise, the danger of underestimating your enemy, and how one day, one moment, one decision can change everything. Japan's bold strike was meant to win a fast war. Instead, it brought down an empire and launched the United States into global leadership. Even today, over 80 years later, the echo of that morning still shapes the world we live in. Because history isn't just about what happened, it's about how it changed everything after. If you found this story powerful, there's more to come. Subscribe to Timeless Feed for more real stories from the past that still matter today. My